Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Mosley Pierre, and I would like to again welcome you to my brand new established um, channel on YouTube. This channel will focus on education, right? Education in all forms. But I really wanted to focus today, first topic, on being honest with our children about education in general, specifically about college education, getting a college degree, and just that it's time to be honest with our children. And the time that we are experiencing right now, the time of COVID, the time of pandemic, the time of where parents and children are now thinking about creating a new normal, the time where you have the possibility of creating in education what you want to educate your children. This is the best time to do it. And I am here to encourage you to think about what we were taught, what we have been taught in the United States about what education is, particularly for the black kids, black folk, black people, or black children. And my job here is to be honest about it and to just bring new insight and just change the narrative about what it is, what an education is, what it means to be educated, what an incredible asset that education is, and it's such an important investment that we have been making um, for a long time and not really knowing the return of its value, right? We've been investing in education for so long, investing in the college education, college university system for so long, and never thinking about what has been our return on investment, right? We, you know, it, we, education, college education is one of the most important investments that we allow our children have to make in their lifetime. And we never, if we don't sit down and think about what is the return on that. We invest in stock markets, we invest on T-bonds, and we know the returns on these, right? We know that the average stock market return is 8-9% a year, but we don't know the value of our investment when we invest in college, right? When we invest in our kids' education. So I wanted to talk today about being honest with our children about what it is, what an education is, right? And what it's used for, and what we need to think about reshaping that information, that knowledge, and basically, take the charge on teaching our children and creating an education strategy pathway for our children. So one of the January 1st, yesterday, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy Independence Day to Haiti. 200 and what, 28th year anniversary independence. Yeah, Haiti. Um, a little background about me. Let's veer off a little second. Um, Once again, my name is Mosley, and I am an immigrant. I am from Haiti, and I had been in the United States for the past 30 years or so. I came here at a very young age, but I have always maintained the Haitian part of my culture. Now that I'm older, I appreciate that because I grew up in a very um, uh, strict housing household. My father was a reverend and pastor of a church, and being a Caribbean woman, girl, and also pastor's daughter was a little challenging. I had to navigate different worlds. I had to navigate different worlds, right? Um, from being Haitian and then having tradition Haitian culture, and then next day going to school and speaking English and and interacting with, the American culture. And so I had to navigate that. And it took me a while, but I mastered it. But having said all of that, you know, yesterday was January 1st. Most college applications were due yesterday. Um, a lot of universities' applications are typically due January 1st of the year, with decisions coming out in March or April. And, to be honest, a lot of our students are encouraged, a lot of our children are encouraged to apply to colleges, to apply to college safety colleges, reach colleges, to colleges of their choices. And yes, they can apply, but they don't really understand what goes into, you know, choosing, a college of, that's going to bring them back what they're looking for, right? Which is typically income, more money, more wages. A lot of these students and a lot of parents don't understand that, there's certain rules to this game, right? You can apply to this college and get accepted, but it really depends on what are you going to study, right? Like, what are you going to study, and are you going to finish in 4 years, right? Because if you don't graduate in 4 years, if you don't focus and study on the particular subjects that's going to bring higher returns, such as health, sciences, finance, nursing, you know engineering, if you don't focus on these areas, computer science, your return is going to be minimal. And so a lot of these young people and parents don't understand that they have to look into that, not just applying to these colleges, but they have to look into that because they're about to make a big investment, not only monetary wise but time wise. Which brings me to, just, I guess, again, to the topic of what I wanted to start to with my episodes about is, you know we can no longer afford to keep lying to our children. One short example of a lie that we tell our children about the college admissions is that, yes, applications, regular applications are due January 1st, yesterday. But guess what? A lot of people don't know or understand that early decision, early admission, which happened in November or December of last year, brings in more than 50% of the incoming class. Most people don't know that. So students who are aware that their applications, early admissions was happening in November and already submitted their applications, they already have a leg in. They have a better chance of getting admitted, as opposed to you applying regular decision. And please keep in mind, there are other colleges that are still accepting applications, but typically most of them are due January 1st. And another lie, right? Or another thing we have to be honest with our children is that a college education is not the only option. As a matter of fact, I honestly don't think it's worth it if you're not going to be focusing on what I spoke of earlier, right? If you're not going to graduate in 4 years, if you're not going to focus in these areas of engineering, health, science, finance, it's not really worth it. I would rather you go into an apprenticeship program. And we'll talk more about this because apprenticeship programs, for one, I think is one of the best return on investments for our young people of color, apprenticeship programs. And let me tell you, I I am one of the biggest, or I used to be one of the biggest advocates of a college education. And I'm not gonna say I didn't benefit from my college education, my degrees. However, just from experience and from research and just from just knowledge, there are better options than getting a college degree. And, you know, if to be honest, if we're really thinking about return on investments, returning on that investment of your time and money on education, then parents and our people need to start really considering alternatives such as apprenticeship programs. And that is one of the things that I will be talking about as we go further into our our community or our building or our channel. But I just wanted to just introduce myself, just talk about this topic real quick about just, it's just time to be honest with our children, time to be honest with ourselves about how, we have to be honest about education and what an education is and what it means to us as people, as a group of people, especially living in the United States. We need to take advantage of that and understand how we can take advantage and use education and how we interpret it and how we define it, to do amazing things. And my next topic, we'll go more into, the three myths that we as parents tell our children about education and what we can do to fix that. So, welcome again. I hope you subscribe to my new channel, and you know, we're gonna continue to build upon this. I'm excited to be able to share and finally share my truth and share my experiences and my background. And we'll get to know each other more as time goes on. And take care, and I'll see you soon.